Welcome back to redheart.com as well as the Crochet Crowd. I'm your host Mikey, and today's special 5-part series for Red Heart, what we have going on is 5 different unique stitches. Now all of these exist within one particular project, and it's called the Holiday Cables Throw, and it's a free pattern. I'll provide the link for the more information of that. So why did I do 5 videos instead of 1? The reality is that all of 5 of these stitches can be used independently each other. So as we go throughout the series, you're going to be able to learn the specific stitch that you have. So today's tutorial series, we're going to be learning the front ridge, we're going to be learning cables, arrow stitch, the woven stitch, as well as the Celtic weave. Now the Celtic weave is what caught my attention on this Afghan in the beginning, and from that I've been able to learn. In actual reality, I've been running the Crochet Crowd for 6 years and I'm still learning new stitches. So when we come back, we're going to start off with our We're now going to explore the woven stitch, and the woven stitch is actually really simple. I was really surprised by this stitch. I would be very honest with you. I thought it would be a lot harder than it was, and I also realized that it's also double-sided, so the woven stitch appears the same on both sides. So this is the back of the sample. You can see that we have the Celtic weave here coming up, is that it does have a front and back side to this entire sample, but the woven part of it, the woven stitch, is actually just something that you can use on both sides. I found this one a little bit hard to get used to, but once I got to the rhythm, you'll notice that it comes together really nicely. To start a woven stitch, you just have to chain up 2, 1 and 2, and we immediately skip the first stitch, okay, which is right underneath it, and go to the second one over right here, and we want to do the woven stitch. Now the woven stitch is actually 2 different procedures in order to make it happen. We are doing 2 stitches within one, and then we're skipping 1, 2 stitches within one, and skipping another. So how we do that is that we're going to pretend like we're double crocheting. So we're going to wrap the yarn first and go into the next one, just like so. We're going to skip this first one, go to the second over, okay, and we're going to grab the yarn and pull through that one plus one of the loops on your hook, and I will repeat this, and then grab the yarn, pull through 2. That was the first part. Here's the second part. We're going to wrap the yarn going into the exact same stitch, going in. When we wrap it this time, we want to pull through that stitch plus the 2 on the hook, so we're back to 1. Okay, so let's review that again. We want to skip the next stitch because we're putting 2 in 1, so that's why we're skipping. So let's just start really slowly. So we're going to wrap the yarn going in, okay, pulling it through there and through 1 loop. Wrap the yarn, pull through, and now that was 1/2. Let's do the second half. Wrap the yarn going into the same stitch, pull through that one, plus pull that same loop through the remaining 2. I found with myself it's always I do one section and then I pull through the second. I can't do it all in one continuous swipe. So let's again, we're going to skip the next one and go to the second. Now when we're skipping right now, we're only doing this for 1 line, because once we get beyond this, you're going to notice that there's going to be gapping spaces, and we'll get to that in just a moment. So let's begin to do the next one. We're going to skip the next stitch, go to the second, wrap the yarn going in, pull through 1 loop. Okay, wrap the yarn. See how it's sitting right down like that? Wrap the yarn and pulling through 2. Okay, let's start the second side of it. So wrap, going in, pull through, and then all 3 at the same time. Okay, skip the next one. So wrap, going in, pull through that one plus 1 loop, wrap the yarn, pull through 2. That was one side. Wrap the yarn going in, pull through. This is the second side, so we pull through everything. Do it again. So wrap, we skip one, go the second over, pull through, and 1 loop, pull through, in, pull through that one, and the remaining loops. And we keep doing that all the way across. This takes a bit of getting used to. I'm not going to lie to you about that one, because your brain is already set to go through 2, 2, 2. You're going to go right to the final stitch doing that. Okay, this is the final. Oops, I dropped it. So wrap in there, pull through like that. So let's turn our work, and the next row is what we're going to be doing in order to do the remaining of this. So if you wanted to do a whole afghan like this, or if you wanted to do a whole section, this next row is how you do it. Let's turn our work, and we're going to do the same stitch, but this time we're going to play within the groups. So you'll see how they're grouped together. Okay, you see there's gapping spaces. We're going to play within those spaces. So to begin the next one, we're going to chain 2, 1 and 2. Okay, and we're immediately going to come to the first gapping space. So you can see that there's 1 and 2, and that's where we're going to do the same thing. Okay, maybe I should be telling you what I'm doing again, just in case you didn't get it the first time. So we're going to wrap, and we're going to go into the next space. So I did both of them there. So the next woven stitch is in between the clumps. Going in, pull through one loop, wrap and pull through the remaining 2. That was 1/2. Here's the second. We're going into the same gapping spaces, pull through that and through the remaining 2. Okay, so wrap, going into the next gap space, pull through that one and 1 loop, pull through 2, next same stitch, pull through and do that. So we're gonna do that all the way across on this, and when we come back I'm just gonna show you just how to make sure that you're starting up at the same time, because the only thing that's gonna be different is that where you're identifying the ends. So do that all the way across. I'll meet you back in just a moment. When you come all the way to the back to the end, you're only going to play within the last gap space. You're not going to go right into the very final stitch like you typically would. So you're just going to finish off in the last gap in order to do that, and you want to do a full stitch or a full woven stitch before you turn. So this time when you turn, you're going to immediately chain up 2, 1 and 2, and then you go into the next gapping space like you would, and again on this side you will finish off into the final gap, and you will find that it will stay in balance. So you'll notice that one stitch will be here, here, and then here. It'll be zigzagging up, but it will stay in balance for the entire thing. So this is the woven stitch. I'm Mikey on behalf of redheart.com as well as the Crochet Crowd. This is part of our 5-part series where we're exploring the cable afghan. It's the cable throws, and it is absolutely amazing. Until next time, I'll see you.